It's your friendly neighborhood laser lady, and if you've ever been wondering if you can laser cut and maybe even engrave jeans, well, today we are going to find out. One little detail though is I am using a 40-watt CO2 laser, so for those of you who have a diode laser, if I can get my engraving plans to work out, then that is definitely something you should be able to do as well. So let's see what we can achieve with an old pair of jeans. So take off your pants and let's get going. I will be using these gray jeans that are 98% cotton and 2% elastane. Now, elastane is a polyurethane, which is laser safe, so no worries there. I will also be using these regular old 100% cotton jeans, as well as this pre-made iron-on jean patch. There are sheets of iron-on adhesive that you can then turn any fabric into a patch, but this ready-to-go patch will save me a step, and they're super duper cheap. I just need to cut out little swatches of the jeans for us to laser with. With one of the 100% cotton jean bits, I went and spray painted it up a little bit for our engraving experiment later. Now while that dries, let's try our first experiment. Let's see if we can make some laser cut jean earrings. To make the material a bit more sturdy, let's put some extra wide masking tape on there. I use this stuff all the time, especially with acrylic and painted wood. Now that's on there pretty good, I'm going to put it in the laser and secure it down with some magnets. Since the material is thin, it holds it in place very easily. Let's see if I can make some skull pendants, which is a design I happen to sell if you're interested. The setting I'm using is the same I use for 1/16 inch acrylic, so it's going pretty fast and at a semi-low power. You'll want to fiddle around with the settings for your particular laser. And it cut out just fine. The backside did soak up some of the blowback residue, which I'm not a fan of, but I don't think these are even going to work because there are too thin of areas. I can just pull the whole thing apart. But that is just a design lesson with fabric. We'll try some simple hearts next, and this time I'm going to put masking on the backside as well. See how much we learned from experimenting? These hearts look great. They are super lightweight as earrings. They are a bit floppy. Perhaps I can incorporate jean material with some wood or acrylic someday. It would be great if we could stick jeans onto something, which brings us to the next idea I had. Jean decal stickers. If you have seen my video on weird materials you can laser, you will have seen me making one of these before, and it is so very easy. Let's get out some of that 3M double-sided sticker paper. You can find this for cheap at my favorite acrylic shop in the link below, as well as a little code for you guys. To make a jean sticker, I just adhere the 3M sticker paper to one side and that double-wide masking tape to the other. I use a putty knife to really smush everything together. Magnets hold it all in place, and now we can make our peace sign sticker. It cuts super easy with the same settings as I used before. I'm sure you're wondering, well, how well does laser cut jeans hold up? Well, let's test that out a little. I'm first going to stick this on my ideas notebook, and let's give it hell. I'm really trying to scratch at it. The results? You can expect it to fray a little around the edges, just like a cut in your actual jeans. There are solutions you can paint around the edges to prevent this. I've even heard clear fingernail polish can work. I kind of like the look though, maybe it's just me. Talk about making a look, let's get our designer pants on, or off I suppose, and see how jean patches do. Like I said before, these are so inexpensive, which means if you were to sell them, you'd be making mega profit, and that's what we like. This pack came with two. I'm going to cover each side with masking tape, even though the iron-on adhesive side really didn't want to stick to it. I just don't want it to melt into my laser bed. I am making this brass knuckles design. I do sell all the designs we've seen so far, just so you know, wink wink wink. I'm still using the same settings from before and it cut like butter. The masking protects everything. It is a little curly from where it was folded in the package, but that shouldn't matter once we iron it on. And I don't know about you, but I don't even know where this iron came from. I think it followed me when I moved out, like the brave little toaster or something. It's a freaking mystery. Anyway, I ironed it on there just as the instructions said, and it stuck on there just like it's supposed to. I'm sure it might fray a little in time, but the adhesive will likely help stop that. If you are into patches or are looking into quick little somethings to sell online and at craft shows, then consider jean patches. Now for the ultimate jean test, engraving. The spray paint is now nice and dry. I wasn't sure how much laser engraving jeans would show up, so hopefully this paint should help. We can't engrave with too high of power or we might burn a hole right through the jeans. So I suspect we won't have a charred engraved look like we might with wood. I'm using my logo for the raster engrave with a very high speed and medium power engrave setting. I also set some shapes as vector engrave cut lines around the edges. I'm using a medium low speed and the very lowest power setting for that. Now let's see the final result. The engraving is noticeable. The paint does help, but you can see the texture right in the fabric. The vector engrave cut lines, however, nearly and did cut right through it. This means that the setting would need to be drastically changed or just avoided. It also tells me I might be able to cut out all these projects with a lower power setting than I've been using. Now let's give it a bit of a stress test. Looks like it will fray just like the others. Jeans will be jeans. I hope you learned a little something and are inspired to try something different. If you want to learn how to master more materials and techniques, then check out this playlist. Happy crafting!